if you look at the leaflet that all of you have, at the end of it, at the right at the last page, there is a chess game. And that was the last game that he played, and he won on the night of his accident. That was his passion, chess. You know, some people watch TV to relax. He used to play chess to relax. And I'm very glad that we have Harut, his chess teacher, with us. And Harut.
Ishan loved chess and he loved coming to the chess classes. He would also come to for private lessons once a week. And originally we intended for it to be about an hour and a half, but it would always go past that. Simply because he was just such a great kid to talk to. I love talking to him. You know, he told me all these things about his fencing he's been in, his school. He was just such an engaging boy to talk to. He was like a sponge when it came to learning. He was clearly beyond his years. He would always ask me questions about the psychological aspects of chess and whatnot. He was the type of student you just couldn't wait to go to class and see. Every year when Ishan even would go to India, we would, it just wasn't the same for a few months that he was gone. He was humble, he was a great kid, he was just caring, he was a great brother, a great friend. Most importantly, most of all, he was just so kind and he was just so gentle. Because he was one of the best students in our chess class, I would often have him ask him to teach one of the more beginner, students. It was as if he'd done it for years, One particular day, I remember he was playing against one of the other really strong students, and he was winning, and the other student suddenly decided to just put the pieces back together again and declare the game a draw. And immediately I wanted to protest and check and say no, Ishan was winning. And Ishan just sort of waved at me and he said, "It's okay, Baron," because he knew he'd won and he just wanted to play another game. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that in reiterating what other people have said, is that in teaching really we've learned a lot from him, and he's touched so many people. Just my heart goes out to his parents, his family, Babaji, and everybody else who did so much for him and cared so much for him.
When I was in the hospital, all of a sudden I saw that there was a puzzle that came from somewhere. And we were looking at it, and as I told you, Ishan loved puzzles. And we all had a delightful time trying to decode the puzzle. And that puzzle came from his very, very, very good friend, Rishi. So Rishi, I would like you to come and talk about it.
E-core, C5. That was the beginning of every conversation I ever had with Ishan. Although I sucked at mental chess and always forgot what my pieces were after the 8th move, Ishan would always declare a draw despite a winning position. This is just one example of many exhibiting the kindness Ishan showed every day. Ishan was one of the smartest, funniest, and uplifting friends I've ever known, making sophomore year enjoyable for me. Every day I wanted to go down and get a bite to eat, or just start jamming on Watermelon Man during the period. Ishan will always come right away. My best memory of Ishan is when we started insulting each other with science yo mama jokes during an entire period. Not only did Ishan think of the most clever physics jokes I had heard, but he mainly spent that time with me to help me feel better after a terrible chemistry test I did. Ishan was always there for me, from offering to lend his cloth for a chess tournament to carrying the chess box down from chess club every day. Furthermore, Ishan's humor and piano skills is what made her Watermelon Man my favorite jazz tune, and Canto Island for that matter too. Ishan was clueless for his European, the first element on the periodic table will never be forgotten.